It's Monday, May 1st, the first day of the best month of the year. And it's 9:40 in the morning, and I'm just out to take a walk through our old sand pit. We've gotten about 3 inches or 75 millimeters or so of rain, roughly, so far over the last couple days. There may be a few more millimeters to come over the next 2 days, but I wanted to see the depth of the water in the pit. It's gotten pretty wet, I think. It was pretty wet before this rain, and now it should even be deeper. So here's a view of what I call our old pond, and it's very full. You may remember seeing videos I made of this a couple summers ago where it was virtually empty. And here's our new pond, and it's very full as well. And actually, looking over here to the left, I don't think I remember ever seeing the pit this full of water. There's this little connector here coming out of the new pond that I always use as a gauge to tell when water is very high in this pond. And that's when this water starts to come out over here onto this flat area of the sand pit. And you can see this whole area is flooded. This is an area here that I usually keep cleared and scraped up a bit because we usually have 1 or 2 pairs of killdeers that like to nest in here. And you can see how wet this area is even. There is a dry area in the middle out here where the killdeers sometimes do nest, and it's still dry, but it's going to take a bit more drying yet, I think, before they would want to nest in there. This is an area that I call the central pond area. And this is very full as well. Just noticed a couple phoebes feeding in the bushes back here on the edge of this little swamp. And it's been a bit of a difficult time for the insect-eating birds such as phoebes and swallows in this rain and cold temperatures. It's only about 10 or so right now, I think, 10 centigrade. So they're having a bit of a struggle finding flying insects. That's why phoebes will find little sheltered areas like this and they can usually find some midges or something coming above the water. Well, it's certainly nice to see the sand pit that full of water again. It's been a few years since it's been that full. In fact, I remember thinking a year or so ago that we may never see it that full again, because it just didn't seem like we were ever going to get the amount of rain that we would need to fill it up. But luckily this year we had quite a bit of snow melt, and also the rains have been coming fairly steadily, and sometimes in fairly large amounts, 2 inches or so at a time, and this time 3 inches, which is fairly rare for here. We don't usually get 3-inch rainfalls that often. Typically we would get 1/2 inch to 1 inch usually at the most, unless we get a real severe thunderstorm that can dump a lot in a short time, obviously, but that's usually only when we get lots of rain. This system is just hovering over us now like a big hurricane, and actually some of the forecasters have called it that, like almost like a spring hurricane, except it's a hurricane that's only over the land, so you don't get the huge winds and huge rainfall amounts that you would get with a standard hurricane that's bringing moisture off the ocean.